KB's unemployed sheet. He's unemployed and didn't know what to do, so he started a shame. Talks about stuff to kill time. He didn't know what to call it, so he called it KB's Unemployed Show.
All right. We are back live here on KB's Unemployed Show. I had a new show opening, if you saw that. So today is going to be a very interesting day. We're going to see if this works because I'm going to do a little review of the Super Bowl from yesterday. And I am going to go through the ads. I really can't go through the sports as you very well know, the Super Bowl yesterday won by the Seattle Seahawks by a score of 29-13. That's really all I can say about that, other than the 4 field goal game that went into the third, fourth quarter was pretty boring. Is so boring, in fact, that I went over and started watching some of the curling. I'm going to get into curling tomorrow because I am down hard with curling. I am so flipping into curling. It's not even funny. It's almost scary how much I'm into curling. I can't tell you why. I cannot tell you why. Everyone is attracted to it. But anyway, yesterday, of course, was the Super Bowl. I had some interesting observations of that. First of all, kudos to who was it, Kenneth Walker III, who had an absolutely spectacular game to be the Super Bowl MVP. But a special kudos, I got to give it up for my boy Sam Darnold, just stuffing it up Minnesota's butt. As a Green Bay Packers fan, there is nothing better than being able to watch the Vikings, probably Viking fans going crazy. Now, I didn't dig into it. I probably should have gone to like a Minnesota sports talk radio station and listened to him flip out about the Vikings and getting rid of Sam Darnold. He goes 14-3 of the last year with the Vikings, and of course they let him go to free agency to keep JJ McCarthy. Then they suck canal water all this year and then proceed to watch Sam Darnold go to Seattle and win a Super Bowl. I love nothing more than that. I love absolutely nothing more than that for Minnesota Vikings fans. I am just tickled to death with that happened to them. And I could not be happier. But it was a good fourth quarter, I guess you could say. It was a good fourth quarter, but after that, I'm not so sure how good it was. I'm also going to get into today my ad review and the first ever, I'm going to call them the KBSYs. It's like the ESPYs, Grammys, Tonys, Oscars, stuff like that. These are the KBSYs are awards for marginal excellence, I guess you could say. But I'm going to get into taking a look at a lot of the ads from the Super Bowl yesterday, which weren't all that bad. In years past, they've been completely horrible from top to bottom. They weren't all that bad, but I spent 35 years in the ad game. Never was worked on some major national pieces of business, but never was lucky enough to work on a Super Bowl account, a Super Bowl ad. And there are agencies are thick with a lot of people. Years and years and years ago, I did interview with an agency who handled Budweiser out of St. Louis, and I interviewed for the job. And the whole year, all I would have done would be to work on Bud Bowl the entire year. I mean, that's how much people put into this. And Budweiser, of course, when you look at the ad meter, and I'm going to go down the top 5 ranked as the top 5 commercials ranked on the ad meter. But Budweiser again comes back to the Super Bowl and brings the horses and the Dalmatian, and this year a little bit something different. If you were watching on YouTube and you would like to comment, just hit the comment section down below. If you're watching also you can do the same if you're on Facebook, because I'm over there at the old Slump Buster page on Facebook, because that's been idle for a while. So you can go over there and follow us if you have friends on Facebook. Maybe they're not on YouTube. And also, of course, on Twitter. Hit me with comments about what you thought of the ads yesterday. And because I'm going to break down those bit by bit, and I'm going to show you some things in those ads that I think a lot of people didn't realize, or younger people wouldn't know. And I'm one of those guys, and Drew and I would always talk about this. I'm a liberal arts major. I have a depth of knowledge. I have a knowledge pool that is incredibly broad, yet incredibly shallow. There's not a lot there, but I have a ability to just remember the most random things about anything. And as I watched these spots, and I'll show you a couple examples, there were very overt references, pop culture references to things in the past, but then there were some more subtle ones. And where I can watch these things because of my years of experience in the business and go, oh, that's where they got that from. That's where they got that from. And one of them is pretty kick-ass. And another one is very, very obscure in the world of film noir, if you will. But it popped right into my head, and then I went and looked it up, and sure shit, that's what it was. And of course, we will have What Color is the Sky on Your Planet again. I'd like to point out we're going to have some good guests coming up too before we get started. I have some good guests coming up this week. We're going to be talking to Ted Perry from Fox 6. He's going to join me on Thursday. We won't be talking about TV. We're going to be talking about his love for music. He's played with the Dungarees a couple of times, so that will be coming up. We're going to be talking to our friends from Mascot Theory coming up. And as always, if any of you ever want to co-host a show, just go to KB at drewandkb.com and say, hey, I want to co-host the show. I'll reach out. I'll get back to you, and we'll see if we can't make that happen. But anyway, getting into the Super Bowl right now, the game was all right. I was on a text chain, and I think I pissed some people off because they had mentioned something about the game, and I mentioned, I go, I'm watching women's curling. And it was some people that were former coworkers. And I just said, my text, I just basically said, given the fact that I have no rooting interest or any financial obligation, I really have nothing to say about the game. But at least I can say I didn't have to get up at 4 a.m. to talk about it. And that made me very happy. But aside from the game, what happened at halftime? This is it was such a lightning rod. The Bad Bunny appearance and having Bad Bunny as the performer at the halftime show became such a lightning rod and so divisive. And I think I guess what's unfortunate was, I guess what was unfortunate about that entire thing was that I didn't want to watch Bad Bunny. And the reason I didn't want to watch Bad Bunny is that's just not my type of music. If you put a polka band out there, I would have tuned out. But somehow it became this political lightning rod. Of course, Turning Point USA went and got, Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, a couple other performers to do their halftime show, which is fine. I mean, the Puppy Bowl has an alternative broadcast. The Puppy Bowl, by the way, is not a bad watch if you're ever interested. I did not catch it, but I taped it. But this became so divisive. It became a political football that was, no pun intended, that was being kicked back and forth. And it was such a subject of hate. Now, here's where I stand on the Bad Bunny thing. I don't particularly care for his music. I'm not into electronica. I'm not into EDM. If they had Steve Aoki as a halftime show, I wouldn't watch that either. Right? But what I found to be upsetting about this is that when it was announced, I kind of rolled my eyes at it. And I was criticized by some people for, I guess the way it's this holier than thou attitude people take. And I said, oh, well, what a bad selection. And, so you're not the target audience. Well, okay, maybe I'm not, right? They've run out of great classic rock acts. They've had them all, the Stones, Springsteen, McCartney, U2. They've run out of all of those. And there's no one who's doing anything interesting with music. Now, so somebody says to me, and I had this discussion at a bar, well, he's only the top performer in the world. He's only the number one most streamed performer in the world and the most popular. Well, good for him. I don't listen to it. Okay. I don't care if, more people stream you in the world. Okay. The number one beer in the world is Qingdao. Okay. Qingdao beer is the number one beer in the world. Why? Because it's a Chinese beer and there's 2 billion people in China drinking Chinese beer, right? Just because you're the most doesn't mean you're the best. And it doesn't mean I have to like you. But it was almost like this feeling like if you don't like Bad Bunny, then you're just a unwoke racist. And it's like, where are you coming from with that? I don't like his music. It's plain and simple. But it was mostly mostly suburban white people who were bitching about it. And it's suburban white people bitching at other suburban white people about not liking Bad Bunny. Here's what I have to say about that. I guarantee you that if you walked up to one of those people who was busting your balls about Bad Bunny and implying that you might have there's some racial overtones, or you somehow are prejudiced or biased, or you are the problem with America because you're not accepting of others. I guarantee you, if you walk up to somebody who plays that card, and let's say you had your phone out and you go to a deep cut, you go into a deep cut from like the 4th cut in on Bad Bunny's last album and play it for them, they'd have no fucking idea who Bad Bunny is. They could not pick out a Bad Bunny song if their life depended on it. So it has nothing to do with the music. It has everything to do with yet another reason they can go and virtue signal and say that they are more woke than you, and they are more intelligent than you, and they are more psychologically advanced than you are, right? But that is not the case at all, right? I don't like his music. I don't. It's not my thing. You know what? I'm not a big fan of Miami Sound Machine everywhere. Anyway, when you get into that salsa thing. Now, I'll tell you this much. The people that were going off about, a foreign act. Well, you guys are wrong with that because he's from Puerto Rico. It's an American territory, right? J-Lo's from Puerto Rico. Now I get the thing that it was all done in Spanish because I don't speak Spanish. So I don't know. But that also makes it not entertaining to me because I have no idea what is going on with the music. I have no idea what the message is, right? Um, Green Day got a little bit political with American Idiot, and it's like I'm really getting tired of a lot of these athletes and actors and actresses. I'm going to use my platform for good. It's like, why don't you use your platform to act or to sing, right? Just go sing the song, And hey, and it's not a right or left necessarily thing because all of a sudden Nicki Minaj is on the right side doing the same thing, right? Okay, just get out of it. It's not why I come to you. And I really don't care to hear it. It really doesn't matter to me what you think at all. It doesn't matter to me. Now, Charlie Puth and Brandy Carlisle did, those were the only two performances that I saw and I caught part of halftime. I went back and watched halftime this morning. Those were the only two performances that I saw. Now, Charlie Puth, I could not name a Charlie Puth song other than I know that the guy is an amazing talent. He's got a voice that is absolutely magical. He's got perfect pitch. He is a great writer, but I don't really know any Charlie Puth songs. I guarantee I hit shuffle on my iTunes and the Charlie Puth song is not coming up, but I appreciate the talent. I'll even go a little bit further and say that I have to appreciate what Bad Bunny does. I mean, if he's the number one streamed artist in the world, he's got to be doing something right. So you have to have an appreciation for the art. But as it got into the halftime and I started watching it, I was like, okay, what do we got going here? And first of all, it starts out with him wearing all white, which I really didn't understand. And he kind of carrying a football, but not the way anyone carries a football, right? It was like he was carrying a football like it was, an infant he was afraid of dropping. But that's fine. But I don't know the storyline that was there. I don't know what the storyline was other than it's a football game. I have a football. And it's because I don't understand the music, right? Then he's walking in and goes past the thing that I think anyone who's traveled, we all know he tries to buy cheap jewelry off the beach from a guy, and then walks into the stadium to rousing applause, which is fine because he is, of course, the number one streamed artist in the world. And then points to some sort of a two-headed thing that was up on the scoreboard, which I didn't understand at all. Okay. I don't know. Was it like minions, two-headed minions, or it kind of looked like a two-headed Jar Jar Binks? I wasn't exactly sure what that was. And then the next thing I know is they got a bunch of dancers twerking. Which okay, I get it, part of the culture. Still don't know what you're singing, but a bunch of dancers are twerking. But apparently, whatever you were singing about was twerkable. And then they go to a wedding. Now there's a wedding out of nowhere. Okay, so there's two people getting married. So it's got to be a show of happiness. Okay, some sort of show of joy, of a blessed union on a day of two people coming together in love. Okay, get it, like it, nice story, nice storyline. Then there are a bunch of people dressed as plants. They're all hiding in plants. Why? I don't know why. I tried to find out why. I read an article that said the plant people were basically, they thought it'd be good to put it in because the game was, I shit you not, because the game was played on natural turf. All right. Okay. So someone is going, I got it. We're going to do plants. We're going to have people dressed as plants. How about people dressed as people? But so now you got these plant people that are running out all over the place. And then it goes to Lady Gaga, who I didn't know was Lady Gaga at first. And I said, Sue and I were watching, and I said, I think that's Lady Gaga. Now, this is going to be so cruel, but it's true. And the way Lady Gaga had her hair done, you really couldn't tell because of the way that she was made up. And she was, made up in a very nice, she had that West Side Story kind of look, of the Puerto Rican dresses and everything. It was, quite striking. But I didn't know it was her. And I said, I said to my wife, I said, it's gotta be her. And then I said, I just need a profile view. And she turned to the side. I go, yeah, that's her. By the nose. I could tell by the nose. That's how you can tell. You can pick her out of a lineup by her nose. It's not a bad nose. It's a very distinctive nose, right? So then you go to Lady Gaga, and there's a wedding cake and a wedding reception, and God knows what else. And then that was then Ricky Martin came out. Or was he out earlier? It doesn't matter. So it was almost as if, okay, you know what? I'm going to be conciliatory to white suburban America who doesn't know who I am, and I'm going to throw a little Lady Gaga in, and then Ricky Martin, who was Latin, but they all dance to Living La Vida Loca. So I'll throw that in there just to appease them. As a halftime show, there was a lot of activity. There was a lot of things choreographed. But I got no freaking idea what it was about. And if you want to say that I am, some sort of a Cro-Magnon caveman because of that, well, then by all means, go ahead. But I don't speak Spanish, so I have no idea. Put a Russian band up there, it'd be the same thing. I don't care. Go get someone from Indonesia or someone from India and put them up singing in their native tongue. It's going to be a halftime show that is not a good halftime show for me, right? I don't know what you're saying. And you know what? To be perfectly honest with you, I don't have the time to go out and figure it out because I'm not going to listen to the music anyway. Because it's not my thing. Is it just okay that we don't like the music, or does everything have to become divisive and you against me and me against you? Because it's ridiculous. If you want to like Bad Bunny, fine. But just because, he's Bad Bunny and everybody streams him in the world doesn't mean I have to like him. So you could just kind of get off my back about that, because I don't have to. I don't have to like anything. If I don't like it, I don't have to like it. Ben, I think all of his music is in Spanish. So that's where I was. That's where I stood on the halftime show. I did not, I did not go over to watch the Turning Point USA show either. Why? Not a big fan of Kid Rock or Brantley Gilbert. Don't like them either, right? Didn't go watch that, but no one's busting my balls about going to not watching Kid Rock. Kid Rock's incredibly popular. Kid Rock's had some hits. Kid Rock also ruined Werewolves of London for me. He also ruined Sweet Home Alabama by doing that stupid mashup. Okay, not a Kid Rock fan. So are you going to drag me on that too? I mean, it's just ridiculous. It gets back to this thing. I'm getting more and more fed up with it. And it gets back to this whole thing that it's like, why can't you just look at somebody and who's being a certain way, why does everyone have to comment on something? Why can't you just look and go, what an asshole, and then move on? Right? Why? I mean, it's like you can't police the world, so why are you wasting your time doing it? And much less with the Super Bowl, coming in. Now it's a Super Bowl. Now, what are they going to do next year? Right? I think that if you go mainstream middle America, you can just go with mainstream pop. And if you can get someone to do it, well, you can satisfy everybody. You won't isolate anyone. And I think that 10 years ago, had you gone with Bad Bunny and we had a different political climate, I don't know if there'd be this much outrage. Or the outrage is would be, why you got a guy singing Spanish? I don't understand Spanish. Instead of this you versus me versus the political thing. But I stand by this statement. I will stand by this 1,000%. Any of those Karens out there who are, trying to, drop morality on you because you didn't want to watch Bad Bunny, they have no freaking idea what they're talking about. None at all. They're just bitching because they want to bitch and they want to seem like they're holier than thou. And I'm going to do this if I get in this conversation. I am definitely, and I suggest you do too. Go find a third, fourth cut in off of Bad Bunny's album and go here. Or even you could do it simply. Name a Bad Bunny song instead of other than DTMF. Right? Name a Bad Bunny song. Go ahead. Or play one that's like the fourth song on the first side of an album and go, hey, can you tell me who this is? And the answer is going to be no. But they'll name every freaking Adele song. So it's like, don't preach to me. Okay? Do not preach to me on that at all. So then the other thing with the Super Bowl, and hopefully this is going to work. If it doesn't, it's going to be a short show. Is KB's Super Bowl ad review, right? And I'm going to go through the ads that I saw, and today it really is going to be the KBSY Awards. The KBSY Awards, and this is for questionable excellence. And today it is going to be the KBSY Awards on the ads. Now, there were some good ads. There really were some good ads there this year. And it wasn't as cheesy and as trite as it has been in years past. So I'm going to run down at the end. I'm going to give you my top 5, or actually it's the top 5 from the USA ad meter. And I tend to agree with each one of the 5. But to give you a little backstory on the awards, to give you a backstory on the commercials in the Super Bowl, somewhere along the line, what happened was the Super Bowl ads were run because it had a huge audience and you could get a lot of people to see your ads. But it was Apple who changed the whole dynamic when they came out with the 1984 spot. And the 1984 spot was the one that was the send up of Orwell's 1984 for the introduction of Macintosh, shot by Ridley Scott, by the way. And the thing about that commercial was it was so radically different. And there's a great story. Steve Jobs tells it. When he and Wozniak, when they Chiat Day brought in the ad, and it was going to be for the introduction of Macintosh, brought it in and showed it to the board of directors. The board of directors went nuts. They said, you can't run that. There's no way you can run that ad. It was, first of all, it's going to cost over $1 million. Secondly, it's like we're introducing a new product. There's no product. How can you introduce a new product if no one sees the product? And Steve Jobs looked at Wozniak and said, I'll pay for half of it if you pay for half of it. And he said, yeah, fine, we're in. And they paid for the whole thing themselves personally. Went on to be arguably what is the best Super Bowl commercial of all time. And it proved that you could introduce a product and not show the product. Now, over the years, what has happened is a lot of these Super Bowl ads, the Super Bowl has become the Super Bowl of advertising. And if you go in and you sell an ad that tries to sell your product, it's probably not going to get rated well. So it's all about winning the ad meter. And it's all about what can you get on the morning talk shows before and after, because that's what everyone's talking about. So you're not really buying for the exposure during the show or the broadcast itself. What you're hoping for is that your spot is good enough to get talked about and you get all this other, media coverage. But this year there were a couple of ads they did a really, really good job of, advertising the product as well. And there was stuff that I liked that made me smile, that was good, and it wasn't just all shtick. There were some things that were shtick. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one of the commercials because there were 50-some commercials. And I'm like, well, how do I present these? So that's where I came up with the idea for the KBSYs. And that is for questionable excellence in whatever. I'm going to bring these back for any different subject matter. But in this case, it's going to be questionable excellence in television commercials in the Super Bowl. So my first award goes to Best Subliminal Reference to a Golden Age movie star who used to beat her kids with a clothes hanger. So what spot is this? Okay, let's go take a look here. It is a spot for Squarespace. And then I'll show you who it is.
Please, please.
Okay, Emma Stone for Squarespace. And so why did I say it is for the best commercial to feature a knockoff of a Golden Age movie star who used to beat her kids with a clothes hanger? Does anyone know who I'm talking about? I'm talking about Joan Crawford. And when I saw that shot, the way it was shot, with the black and white and all the lighting and everything like that, I'm like, I wonder if they meant that to be like Joan Crawford. Someone meant that to be like Joan Crawford. And sure enough, when I went back and looked, I started looking up old pictures of Joan Crawford, and there you have it. The hairstyle is almost the same. The lighting is almost the same. That very well may be from a Joan Crawford movie. I am not up on her filmography by any stretch of the imagination that I could see where the movie was, but I did pick up on the reference. So that is the KBSY goes to Squarespace. In the next one, let's see here, the best use of Adrian Brody in a commercial, which is for TurboTax. And I got a kick out of this. I thought it was very well acted. I thought it was funny. I thought it was clever.
They say death and taxes are the only guarantees in life. At least death only happens to you once. Brace yourself. The pain is coming. I can taste it.
Cut! Why is there rain?
Dials it up, right?
No, Adrian, we need you to dial things down.
I'm just trying to tap into the pain of taxes.
You know, you're not some regular tax guy. You are a TurboTax expert, like Janet.
We take the pain out of taxes, remember?
Let's go again. Just smile, be happy.
I don't do happy.
If there's no drama, there's no Adrian Brody. I can pay for that.
I could deduct that.
To the rain.
I like that one quite a bit. And the reason I like it when you start talking about advertising, within the industry, within the business, at least the way that I was taught, you had to build your creative concept around an insight statement. And so the insight statement for that one is obviously now taxes are drama free. And then wherever you take it from that, you start working off of how do we show drama free and what ways can we do it? It's just a very clever connection in that sense, how they took Adrian Brody. I also do appreciate spots with celebrities where they can make fun of themselves. And I thought that was a great use of Adrian Brody doing that and making fun of himself. The next KBSY award goes to the best message that desperately needs to be heard, but half the country will hate. This is a tie. There are two of these. I absolutely loved both of these commercials. And the reason that I love them is the messages are strong, the messages are clear, the messages are honest, the messages are sincere, the messages are very innocuous. Yet half of the country is going to hate it. And so here we go with here's the first one.
The one who dies with the most toys wins.
50 million Americans can't be wrong because winning is more fun.
Your smile is brighter than snow.
Look at this amazing demonstration.
I want to feel more beautiful.
In a search that has continued for centuries, and its promise of more and more.
I'll be the talk of the town.
You've got to learn to get more pleasure out of this. Get more pleasure out of this.
Here come more daredevil drivers full of fantastic tricks. This just in. You don't want to be less.
A series on the changing American market. Come consumer.
You've got to learn to get more pleasure out of this. Get more pleasure out of this.
What a great line at the end. There's more to life than more. It's a spectacular life and executed very, very well. Now, why would half the country hate it? Because you're talking about Jesus. My God, I can't believe you're talking about Jesus. Whatever, but it's a good message. And I have a feeling that if most of us listened to that message, we wouldn't have had as much of a Bad Bunny problem as we did. The next one that is tied for the message that needs to be heard, yet half of the country is going to be pissed about it, is this one.
My sister's name was Denise. She died of obesity at 25. She had a heart attack. I was so fat and nasty. I would eat anything. I was like 345 pounds. A quart of ice cream every hour. I had so much self-hate when I was like that. I just wanted to kill myself. We're the most powerful country in the world, and we have the most obese, fudgy people. Something has to be done about processed food in this country.
Yeah, okay. Well, why are they going to hate it? Well, they're going to hate it because it is MAHA, Make America Healthy Again, which is such a, wow, what a horrible concept. That you want Americans to be healthy. I can see why that's so divisive. But it's the truth. It speaks the truth. And the truth is processed foods are killing everyone. I think that it has an awful lot to do with peanut allergies, because those of us who are older never heard of a peanut allergy before, ever. But because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. aligned with Donald Trump and didn't like vaccines, blah, 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 that's going to be a divisive spot. Well, the fact of the matter is that is the God's honest truth. There's nothing wrong there. We are one of the most prosperous countries on the planet, yet the most obese and the sickest, and it's a sin. And hey, I am equally as guilty. You tell me, I'd crush a box of Cheez-Its if I could. And it's really hard to stay away from it, but it's all manufactured and engineered that way. But I can tell you, since I lost my weight, I've got a deeper appreciation for the stuff that Sue grows in her garden. Carrots taste like carrots. And we've cut way back on anything that comes in a box. We eat very, very fresh. Yet I'm still just absolutely, I cannot stay away from a bag of chips to save my life. But just got to work. Just got to work on that. But which reminds me, I just my weight loss journey, as I said, I got to get down to 217 from 240. My lowest all time was 206. But I popped back up to about 217. So I'm going back to 200. I'm exactly the same as I was on Friday, 217.1. And I'm very happy about that. And the reason being is yesterday was the Super Bowl and Sue made homemade taco dip. And taco dip, of course, in Wisconsin on a football Sunday is an entree. And it's next to impossible to avoid any taco dip. Coming up, the next spot is I'd like to refer to as the award goes to this one for the most passive-aggressive commercial voiced by Ice-T. When I first heard this commercial, when I first watched it, I went, okay, I get it. But then when you listen to how it's written, it is so flippin' passive-aggressive. And this is for Hims and Hers.
Rich people live longer. All that money doesn't just buy more stuff. It buys more time. The wealth gap is a health gap. The rich have health care that comes to them. Custom formulated peptides, specialists on call, and preventative care before they need it. They get the best of everything. So why don't you? Now you can do Hims and Hers. Diagnostic testing for a complete snapshot of your health. Weight loss treatments that can be microdosed to fit your goals. Menopause and testosterone hormones to keep you feeling great. And early cancer detection through a simple blood test. The same science, the same access, no connections required. Now that's rich. Get started today with Hims and Hers.
There you go. Can you get any more passive aggressive than that? Rich people are healthy. They have the money. It's like, it's this backhanded slap. You could have done a very good commercial for that, and that would have been, you could have skipped that all that BS if you wanted to. But, that's a different generation that's writing all of these things. And that's what's important to them. So they slip it in. Then you've got people that are older that are making the decisions, the advertising decisions, and they get forced to go along with that because they don't want to fall victim to any ridicule. It's fine. The spot's fine. And I suppose it's cynics like me that pick out the passive aggressiveness, and maybe I'm the problem, which is entirely possible. But when I heard that, I went, oh, Jesus, you got to be kidding me. Here we go. The next one is, I like this one. It's the best remake of a commercial using best remake of a movie and a commercial with AI generated original stars that actually sells the product. That's one of the things that's always a complaint about these spots as you go, it never really sells the product. And in this instance, I think it's a great execution and a great way to bring the product to light. This is the one that was from Infinity.
What did I touch? I didn't touch anything. We're stopped.
Fences are failing all over the park. John, I can't get Jurassic Park back online without...
Whoa! This place is awesome. By the way, you should have plugged this in.
That could have been bad.
Well, this is going to be a lovely weekend.
How did you do this?
I'll show you.
If you like pina colada.
Do the roar again. That is one big pile of shrimp.
Mr. Hammond, I have decided to happily endorse your park.
A whole new species of Wi-Fi at the same price for 5 years.
Nope.
I thought that spot was great. Usually I'm not into that whole remake or borrowed interest thing sometimes because it can end up being a little bit cheesy, but that's showed the product as a hero. So they were able to do that, and the product, came out and it sold the product. I remember the name of the product. One thing I always go through with my classes, I always go through Super Bowl commercials. And when I do, I say, okay, what ones did you like? And almost every single time I will get not the one for Xfinity. It will be, that one with the Jurassic Park thing. And that's where a lot of these spots, can fall short. But in this instance, you saw the product, you saw how the product worked. They use a technique that will sometimes I'll use for creative thinking. What if this didn't exist, or what if it worked out? What would it look like? And that was a great thing. We all seen Jurassic Park, but what if that electricity grid didn't fail? What would happen? And they were able to do that, and then they made Xfinity the reason that it did not fail. And I thought that was a spectacular use of spectacular use of an old movie. And but then you can see with the AI too how the way to look at AI, if you want to pick it out, and it's only going to get better and better, but it's the way the mouth is. There is a porcelain doll look to the face. It's not as dimensional. So if you go back and look at that, you'll be able to see right away how it's AI. The next one, most movie scene callbacks in a single commercial. I kind of I like this one quite a bit, because there were a lot of movie scene callbacks, and I don't know how many of you figured out. There might be more. I saw 5 distinct ones here.
Hey, last one down buys the Ultras.
John!
Where's Greg?
Coming.
Who needs a credit card when you got a Greg?
Tired of always buying the Ultras, Gregory? Meet me at the Blue Lift.
Don.
Heads up. Strap in.
Sharpen your skis, sharpen your mind.
Your true opponent is yourself.
Again.
If you rely on sight, you're already blind.
Nice.
Do it for the Ultras, Greg!
It's time.
Ultras on Greg again.
Find your inner Greg.
My tab.
Actually, it's been taken care of.
You did it, Greg.
I loved it. I absolutely love that one. So the 5 references that I picked up were Tombstone, The Karate Kid, Scent of a Woman, Rocky 3, and what was the other one? The two of the Karate Kid, Scent of a Woman, Miracle. Again. And I thought that was I thought it was very well done. And you'd probably have to have you have to have your finger on the pulse of a lot of movies to understand which ones which of those movie references there were. I'm pretty sure there was probably another one in there that I just didn't pick up on. But that was another one of my favorites. This next one I loved as well. And I'm going to call this one, this is getting the KBSY for the best social justice message that isn't rammed down your throat. And it was done very simply. It was an important message, and it wasn't preachy. And I thought it was absolutely spectacular.
Bro, look at this. Did you see that? Should we tell him? So bad. Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
Do not listen to that. Thank you, man. I know how it feels.
Another. That was a spectacular commercial. And it wasn't forced. It wasn't preachy. It was just simple and straightforward. I like the blue square idea as well. Now, I have not had time to get onto social media, but when I saw that with the Post-it note and the blue Post-it note, the first thing that crossed my mind was, oh yeah, this is going to have a social media extension, because it is very reminiscent of when they did the blackout for something with music a couple of years ago. So you don't even remember that. But that square, the single colored square, it started where they paid, I want to say, one of the Kendall Jenner, maybe. Yeah, I think it was Kendall Jenner. Fire Festival paid her $250,000 for one post, for one Instagram post. And all she posted was an orange block. And it was the only intent of it was to make the feed scrolling stop, to make you stop your scroll and look to see what that is. Then people jumped on it after that and started doing it, and it's less effective. But I'm going to go and take a look before class tomorrow on Instagram and see if there's blue blocks all over the place. With something like that, though, anytime you tell someone to go out and do this, or when you say use hashtag this, it can backfire on you because it comes off as being some sort of forced and contrived. Brent, you're looking for a sixth one? Yeah, on that Michelob Ultra spot. But it was pretty kick-ass. But I am going to go look for the blue square and see if they dropped a blue square on the feed, which was kind of like a ripoff, but nonetheless, it is there anyway. The best punchline. This one is going to be for the best punchline that went on and on, but somehow never really got tired, and that was Uber Eats.
When a quarterback runs, they call it a scramble. You want a morning scramble, Bradley?
Don't you have somewhere else to be?
Think about it.
Field goal post, designed after a fork. That can't be true. Football is not selling food. You cannot keep this up.
Players' names: CJ Ham, Malik Ham.
You're cherry picking.
Gerard Cherry, Duran Cherry.
Oh, did you tell him about pancake blocks?
Several times. Take a closer look, Mr. Bradley. Tell me, what do you see?
Pro Football Hall of Fame?
It's a juicer.
What?
The Hall of Fame's a juicer, Bradley. Check it out. It's all food, Bradley.
No. Enough! You're never going to convince me that football's selling food.
So what do you say we just squash this beef? Yeah. Beef's food. So squash.
You son of a...
Burgers! When football makes you hungry, order Uber Eats.
Great spot. Great spot. For me, the most clever part of that spot was the Football Hall of Fame and the juicer. I was like, okay, that's what kind of kept me. Yeah, it's a one-trick pony in terms of the joke, but it didn't, for me, at least for me, it didn't tire at all. So that would be that was a very, very good spot, and I remembered it was Uber Eats. The next one that we have, the next KBSY Award, goes to the best reminder to do something we've already been doing for years, and that goes to Toyota.
Hey, let's go for a drive. What is it? Let's put your superhero belt on.
There you go, Grandpa.
Returning the favor is a gift.
Superhero belt?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all know that you're supposed to fasten the seatbelts. I don't know why that was needed unless I've missed something. And, you know, each year, thousands of Asian American people are being catapulted through windshields. But I don't know why they needed it, but that's like trying to put up what they do with that is they're just trying to put on the white hat, wear the white hat, give you a warm and fuzzy, which the relationship, and that's an old trick that's used over and over, the generational relationship and how it's cyclical. You'll see that in a lot of the smarts, a lot of the commercials. My next one goes to the best commercial featuring Chris Hemsworth and a snake. And that goes to Alexa.
I moved your meeting, and your car will be here in 5.
Perfect. Look at this little beauty I found in the garden.
Nice snake, Chris.
Hey, whoa, what is that?
On your Alexa Plus.
That she's not living here. That is full-on AI. One minute we're all buddies, then the next minute she's trying to kill us.
Now, Chris, how exactly would I do that?
A million different ways. Maybe I'm taking out the trash.
The door's jammed. Take a closer look while I pull up a tutorial. A little to the left.
You're a widow.
Right.
All right, what about this?
Looks like rain. Closing cover. Hold your breath, Chris. The package I sent you is here. Lowering shades. Let me light a fire.
You're crazy.
Your car's here. I gotta go.
Love you.
You seem tense. Can I book you a massage? And a cinnamon scrub?
Wait, you can do that? I do love a cinnamon scrub.
Just enjoyable, but also demonstrated. Had a product demonstration that was pretty good. Next one here. Best use of Bruce Springsteen's. This one is the best use of Bruce Springsteen's ass. And that is in this Levi's commercial. Body parts and body functions were big this year. It was the year of body parts, I guess you could say. Whether stuff was going in or coming out of your body. Here we go. Is another one. The best ad featuring the mayor of Flavortown. It took me a second to figure out that it was AI generated Guy Fieri. Because I don't think that's a wig. I don't think they got him. Well, maybe if they paid him enough money, they got him to shave the.
I'm just a guy. But when I use my Bosch appliances, I feel like more than just a guy. I feel like Guy. Same goes to these Bosch power tools here. Just a guy. Guy. Just a guy. Guy. Just a guy. Guy.
With phenomenal appliances and powerful power tools.
I thought you only spoke French.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Again, that one was just kind of clever and fun. I mean, nothing deep there. Here we go. The best ad, this next one here, is the best ad by a creative director who probably just wanted to meet Bon Jovi for State Farm Insurance.
So you guys are just like State Farm, right?
We barely cover boats by the dock.
Why barely?
You get what you pay for. Our bike coverage leaves out a lot.
I don't have a bike.
Can we just get some momentum on the song? Oh, I'm going. There's damage to your home on this block. We won't make things right, because filing a claim is tough.
Can't I just do it in an app or call an agent?
No luck. Here comes the best part. Whoa, we're halfway there. Wow, you're living on a prayer. Oh, my punchy.
Should have gone with State Farm.
Need a lift?
Yep.
Stop living on a prayer. You get State Farm.
So you're not like State Farm.
Correct. Not at all.
Okay, so you had Danny McBride there, and what's his name? Keegan Michael Key or whatever. Michael Keegan, whatever the guy is. He's on everything. But that spot, I just looked at it and I go, okay, you had something going with these, State Farm stuff before, and now all of a sudden this came from left field. And that's why I said creative director probably just wanted to meet Bon Jovi. The next award goes to for the best ad reminding me to look at my pee. Didn't know I had to do that, but they got away with it.
How can I just let you walk away
When all I can do is watch you leave.
So take a look at me now.
There's just
And there's nothing left here to remind me. Just a memory of your face. Take a look.
Hydrate with liquid IV.
Someone let me down, please.
Now, I will tell you that looking at your pee was something that I didn't know would be a Super Bowl spot. But I can tell you that at my age, being a little bit older, getting your pee clear from yellow, if I had to drink that much water, I'd be in the bathroom constantly. I'm sorry. That one's for the young people. Here we go. Best commercial. Let's do it the other way. Best commercial about putting a finger up my ass.
Have you ever in your life seen tight ends this relaxed?
I am so relaxed.
They're carefree, calm, serene. You know what these tight ends are so relaxed about? Prostate cancer screenings. They've learned there's a simple finger-free blood test. Roughly 1 in 8 men would be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and I was one of them. I'm here today because I caught it early. Ron, what'd I teach you?
Relax your tight end. Prostate cancer screening starts with a simple blood test.
Find out if a PSA blood test is right for you at Relax. It's a bloodtest.com. Let's do this.
Now, I know they do it with a blood test now, but I didn't know they did it several years ago. And I went in for a physical, and I ended up getting a PA, and it gave me a whole physical. I never left a chair in the examination room, and I didn't get the finger test, which is not all that pleasant. But I was of the belief that, hey, if you don't get the finger test, did you really have a physical? But yes, the answer is yes, you did. So we've got the front and the back side covered. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top 5 spots as rated in the USA Today ad meter. Coming in at number 5, I thought this one should have been higher, and I can watch this one again because I just enjoy it. This is the Mick Ultra.
Hey, last one down buys the Ultras.
You're on.
Where's Greg?
Coming.
Who needs a credit card when you got a Greg?
Tired of always buying the Ultras, Gregory? Meet me at the Blue Lift. Done. Heads up. Strap in. Sharpen your skis. Sharpen your mind. Your true opponent is yourself. Again. Again. If you rely on sight, you're already blind. Nice.
Do it for the Ultras, Greg.
It's time.
Ultras on Greg again.
I'm your inner Greg. My tab.
Actually, it's been taken care of.
You did it, Greg.
Coming in at number 4, this spot probably they paid more for talent in this spot than the gross national product, a gross of many third world countries. And this is the one for Dunkin' Donuts.
Before the movie, a much better version of Good Will Hunting was made as a sitcom with a real genius in the lead and some other actors.
Hey, Will, did you arrange the Munchkins in the Fibonacci sequence? I got a genius working for me.
If he's such a genius, then why'd he put ice in his coffee, huh?
Come on, Chucky, I'm just Will Hunting. I'm not a genius.
I will marry the first man that can help me with the Fibonacci sequence.
How you doing?
Don't you have a girlfriend? We're on a break. I don't need her. I still get everything I need right here at Dunkin'.
Hey, kid, if you're still single doing this Boston shtick and working for Dunkin' when you're 50, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Isn't that your girlfriend? You like donuts?
Yeah.
Well, this is my new boyfriend. How you like these nuts?
I'm fine.
Not bad, but what they had to pay just in talent alone is insane. Because I'm sure that, I mean, to get Jennifer Aniston, I mean, come on. Then you also had Jason Alexander, you know, half of the 1990s sitcoms. I'm sure Armin would have loved that. Those are all his people. Number 3, this one got this is the 3rd best one. Anytime you use animals, the polar bears, Coca-Cola kicked ass with the polar bears. Pepsi decided to go back and take them head on, as they've done before. Pepsi and Coca-Cola, the Super Bowl used to be ground zero for the cola wars. But here's the polar bear spot.
You're not the only one.
Love the shot of the Coldplay meme at the end. I thought that was pretty clever. Coming at number 2, and this is where you get the feel-good stuff, the warm and fuzzies, number 2 and number 1. Number 2 is the Potato Farmer and Lay's potato chips.
So I've been thinking. Might be time to hang it up.
How about one last time? Together.
Okay, kiddo.
I walked across an empty land. I knew the pathway like the back of my hand. I felt the earth beneath my feet. Sat by the river and it made me complete. And if you
One more
have
thing.
a And why don't we talk about somewhere only we know?
It's your farm now.
So why don't we go somewhere only we know?
I don't know if they needed Warm and Fuzzy to sell potato chips. All they need for me is the chips. But Lay's coming in at number 2. But it's always the feel-good stuff that people remember, right? And it tugged at the heartstrings. And then the number 1 spot, I think you know what's coming. They have perennially finished as number 1 over the years. But I'm going to show you something at the end, and I picked up on this right away. I don't know if you did, but where they got the ending shot from is not something that somebody came up with at the agency. I will bet my life on it. And that, of course, is Budweiser.
Some as free as a bird now, and this bird you never change. Oh, and the bird you cannot change. Lord, I can't change. Won't you fly?
Are you crying?
Sun's in my eyes.
Wow, Ben, I didn't know that. Ben on the 414 says Lay's was filmed at a farm near me, Heartland Farms, Hancock, Wisconsin. They have been providing potatoes for Lay's for 70 years. It's warm and fuzzy. It's a great spot. But, for me, Lay's potato chips, all they need to sell potato chips is the potato chips. Now, with where did that come from? That's the money shot, right? Making the horse look like Pegasus, and then the eagle flying off of his back. I will plant my flag on this hill. I will die on it to say that this shot was stolen. And anyone care to take a guess at where it was stolen from? Anyone? Yeah, takes too long for you guys to get back to me on that. It was stolen from Game of Thrones, from the very last episode of Game of Thrones. And here we go. And let's take a look, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Take a look at that again. And there it is. That is the shot. That is the money shot, and I guarantee you that's where they got it. Now, is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, but it's certainly not unique. It works, but that's where it came from. And anyone who says otherwise is lying. So that's it, folks. Hey, thanks for humoring me. And also, hopefully everyone liked the commercials and liked, the comments I had about them. I also got to run my lecture for tomorrow with my college students. But if you have any friends that might want to take a look at the commercials, want to hear what an ad guy's take on it was, just share, hit the like button, share, put your comments below, and we will talk to you tomorrow I'm going to get deep into curling, deep into curling. So as always, make good choices.
It's KB's.